Welcome to Open Color. I am Corey. He is Vishal. Thanks for joining us. So June 8th, 1984.
The big day.
The big day. Ghostbusters opened in theaters. Actually, same day as Gremlins.
Ooh,
believe it or not.
Both good movies.
Right? So I dabbled in my annual watching of Ghostbusters yesterday.
But why would they release a Christmas movie, Gremlins?
Back then it didn't matter.
No. Also, it's as much. Yeah, it's a Christmas movie. I'll take it.
Oh, it's set during Christmas. There's a lot of
Christmassy themed.
Christmas fanfare, music, horror stories of parents dressing up as Santa Claus, slipping while descending through a chimney and breaking one's neck. All that.
But we're here to talk about Ghostbusters.
Yeah. So, like I said, I watched that on the regular.
It
never gets old.
At least once a year, if not. I mean, once a year plus Halloween. So at least twice a year, if not more.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's timeless.
Once a month, if you have to.
once a month is
practical
reasonable.
Effects never get old. Yeah, I would say so.
It just
and then again, anything with Bill Murray.
Yeah, exactly. He knows who to call.
He knows what's going on. Oh, I get it, because the song. So Bill is one to ad lib, as we all know. Yeah, that's right. Ray Parker Jr. Ghostbusters. That's the whole point of the movie, right? It was for the song. Yep. So yeah, Bill Murray's one to ad lib. So I have a list here of some of his best ad libs from the movie.
Just that movie, or every Bill
just
Murray?
This movie.
Okay,
in honor of the 35th anniversary.
That list would be insanely long if we just did every one of his movies.
Yeah, so for those uninitiated, what Bill Murray tends to do with his movies is he will take the script, he'll peruse it. Zach peruse it. Pre-show joke. No one's going to understand. Get basically the general sense of what the scene is, and then just toss that bad boy out the window and add his own thing,
which tend to end up being like the best lines in the movie.
The Farrelly brothers said since he ad-libbed his entire part in Kingpin that he made the movie better by doing so.
Yeah,
he said everything he did was by far funnier than what they had written in the script.
You, sir, are much funnier than we are. Please do your own thing.
Yeah, and accept this check, because we'll give you a writing credit if we could. So this list I found last night, which is not very good in the sense that if you haven't seen Ghostbusters, all these lines out of context don't.
Yeah. One-liners without the setup.
Yeah,
generally.
So I'll add things in to paint a picture a little bit. So Stay Puft Marshmallow Man shows up. He's walking through town, and then he steps at a church. So Bill ad-libs, nobody steps at a church in my town. It gets better as we go.
That would have been better without your setup. If you're just like,
right,
this is one of Bill Murray's best lines.
Okay, so here we won't add no more setup, because these do sound better with other setups. To be honest, let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown. Better without the setup. Human sacrifice. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. As we know, end of the world. Why worry? Each one of us is carrying an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on his back. Reference to the proton packs when they're firing up for the first time. Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Yes.
And they call the guy Dickless. His name is Richard. This is, well, that's what I heard. He says that in the background. So when Dana's all possessed, sounds like you've got at least 2 people in there already. When she says that she wants him, etc., etc. And then we go, what's been going on? What's been going on about this is all wrong. Oh, we've been going. Hold on. It's loading. My pop-up
Take
ad
two.
blocker. Take two. We've been going about this all wrong. This makes Mr. Stay Puft's okay. He's a sailor. He's in New York. We get this guy laid, won't have any problems. This is true. Back off, man. I'm a scientist. I laugh every time at the
Every time he
beginning of the
says that,
movie.
it's just like a GTFO.
Well, the guy's asking, like, he's interviewing the librarian, asking her all these questions, like, Doris, by a chance, are you menstruating at this time? What's that have to do with anything? Back off, dude. I'm a scientist. We saw, we kicked its ass. And my personal favorite, when they say they're exterminators, was got a cockroach on 12. Oh, it must be some big cockroach. Bite your head off, man. Good times. But yeah, what this all has to do with Ghostbusters is E3 is going on right now, and they're going to re-release the Ghostbusters video game on all platforms in the fall.
No way. Like,
so Ghostbusters, a video
like
game
the one
remastered,
we used to play,
is the equivalent of Ghostbusters 3. Yeah. So it's coming out PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Switch.
Switch? Yes. All right. Here we go.
So all just remastered, high def quality, and all in part of the 35th anniversary of the movie. Now, I've said this before. One of the biggest regrets of my life was getting rid of that game. I should have never.
That was a really fun game.
Because with Harold Ramis now passed,
it's
you're
frustrating.
not going to get any closer to a true third movie than that video game.
Yeah. Not the crappy movie that came out. But we won't talk about that over and over again.
Well, you bash it once.
Yeah. You bash it twice.
Bash it once, shame
17. Well, how many episodes have we had? And then just that's it.
Yeah, number 45. I haven't said that at the top. So have you seen any of the E3 announcements since it started today?
I haven't. I was working all day today and put in a solid 10 hours. And yeah, once I got home, ate dinner. Like I said, tried to put iOS 13 beta on the old iPad, which has been unsuccessful up until now, but I'll try again later. And so have okay. We got to make sure you don't. Oh, if you start overusing that, I'm gonna throw in some veto power and say no soundboard. But
apropos.
But yeah. So I haven't had a chance to dive deep. I knew it was going on, and saw some headline maybe just about kind of specs and features of the new Xbox, whatever they end up calling it.
120 frames per second.
That's right. Seems pretty cool. 8K.
We all need 120 frames.
All that framey goodness on our.
Did you see The Hobbit when they was it
the Lord? Was it Lord of the Rings that did that, or Hobbit? Yeah, it was The Hobbit. I did see it in that high frame rate HFR whatever. I liked it. I liked the difference, but it definitely looked too weird and too real. I am
as much as hobbits walking around.
Yeah, no, but real. I mean, it looked like you were on set versus and I'm like, that takes you out of
they've broken the fourth wall.
Exactly. You're in the wall. You are the fly on the wall.
You are in the movie.
And that's what kind of I go to the movies to escape,
Yeah.
Exactly. So and especially when it's a fantasy movie like that, when you clearly know it's not real, but then it looks like you're right there, then it just appears as though you're watching people. You're on set and you're watching them film a scene, and that puts you. It doesn't take you it doesn't put you in the. I don't know. It just seems weird. It might work better with things like I don't know, soap operas, or stuff like that where it's you're.
Could you imagine walking into a Best Buy to get a 8K 120 frames per second to
To
watch
watch
Days of Our
Duel.
Lives.
Does this get Duel? No, just as the world turns. I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's I'm sure that with video games it's like I know people who enjoy like PC gaming and stuff, and they like having their 90 and 120 hertz monitors.
Mhm.
Um and I think that is like no matter how realistic the game is, it's not going to take you out of it because it's still a game and you know it's a game. Um so like, I feel like with gaming the higher refresh rates is nicer, but with movies not so much.
Right.
Even just all the, you know, quote unquote like gaming smartphones that have come out in the past few years, like the ones from Razer, the ones from Xiaomi, and whoever else, Huawei is making some. Their kind of big claim or their big draw is the high refresh rates on the screens. Some with 90, some with 120, and I guess that's what makes it good for gaming. It doesn't really do much for anything else. Like it does make the phone appear to be more responsive because things are moving faster as you touch them. Um, yeah, you really only notice it when you slow things down to when you put it under a super slow mo camera. That when you move your finger up and down the screen, like the text looks like it's following your finger a bit closer.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think for gaming, it might be. It depends on the game, I'm sure. But I mean, we're not getting these systems, so
No. But it'll be interesting to see
yeah.
how the rest of the show goes. But it's today, tomorrow, and then Wednesday. I think
Like
it's 3 days.
finalizing on the third day is just like random announcements, not anything. I mean, all the major ones have come out now, I'm sure,
Right. And then
and
like
now
what
the
Disney's
next
been
one.
doing with their D23, I think what Nintendo's holding their own thing and Sony's going to be doing their own stuff now.
Exactly. So E3 is like Xbox's thing. Google also announced their, or not announced, but announced some
Unveiled.
pricing and
Yeah.
stuff like that with
Right.
their system. Not system. It's a controller that's connected to the internet. Um, it's called Google Stadia, and basically it'll just be you get the controller from Google. You don't need a console. Everything is streamed, and you can play on your TV with a Chromecast. You can play on any browser, or sorry, any screen essentially that runs Chrome. So your computer, your phone, your tablet, iPad, iPhone, whatever. Um, and that's the thing. You can just take your controller somewhere. So if I come over to your house and you have a Chromecast, I can play on your TV with my account. Uh, there's going to be a subscription tier and a free tier, and you still have to buy the games and all that stuff. But their main draw, the thing that they are really working on, is super, 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 super low latency via Wi-Fi.
I
So
see.
no hopes. Well, I mean, considering the times that we've played like NHL, we both have relatively high, uh, you know,
Yeah.
Wi-Fi speeds and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So Google is claiming that you can stream at 4K at 60 frames a second with 5.1 surround sound if you have a down speed of 35.
Lies.
Exactly. Like it's there's no way that's true. My down speed is consistently like above 80,
Mhm.
and we play, you know, PlayStation or our older Xbox stuff or Switch or
Yeah.
whatever, and
There's lag.
yeah, there's lag. And this one is basically what they're saying is somehow the controller is connected to their data center, and because it's connected to the data center over whatever magic Wi-Fi waves they have, um, that the latency will be, you know, not a lot.
Yeah, next to
But I'm
none.
like next to nothing. But I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna play Mortal Kombat and have even a tiny bit of lag, because as soon as I go to do something, I'm already fatalityed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. It's coming out in November, so they still have uh, a few months to announce more stuff and get it into the hands of reviewers and all that kind of fun stuff. But we'll see. I mean, it's a nice idea, right? Just
On paper,
taking,
everything on paper sounds good.
yeah, on paper, exactly. Like, take a controller somewhere and you play. So
Did I see a tweet somewhere? Someone said like within like the first month, you probably would be using like a terabyte of
yeah, so
data.
it was a streaming at the 4K,
Okay.
60 frames a second thing.
Yeah.
You would use a terabyte of bandwidth in 65 hours, is what they were saying.
Oh, not even 65 days, 65
No,
hours.
65 hours
Which I
worth of
understand
like,
because there's a ton of throttling in the US.
yeah,
Far more than there is here.
absolutely. And even just data speeds in general are
Yeah.
generally higher here, where to get 35 down is not unheard of pretty much anywhere, especially in
Mm.
a major city. It's fine. That's totally doable. In the States, getting 35 down is like, you know, you have to have that 1 gigabit fiber
Yeah.
to get that.
Like
So
our TV now is the wireless IPTV, and the boxes are designed for Wi-Fi, but they still recommend using an Ethernet cable.
yeah,
So,
and that's still like,
and that's not 4K resolution, 8K resolution, consistent,
exactly.
you know,
I'm
game
like I'm
hopping.
Yeah, like you said, it sounds amazing on paper, and if Google can do it, that would be huge,
Yeah.
because the barrier of entry to that is basically $90.
Hmm.
You get the controller for $90. Um, you have one, I have one. I come over to your place, we play. You come over to my place, we play. No need to bring a system. No need to bring, like, for the Switch. No need to bring additional docks or anything like that. Um, all the games are in the cloud, and you could be in bed and playing on a tablet or uh, anything. So like, it's extremely portable. So I don't know. I'm excited. I hope it works out, because that would be amazingly ideal. Um, but the Switch is portable, and
Yep.
it's still not
The catalog
easy.
is better.
Yeah,
I
and
was
like, it's still
perusing
even.
the catalog of that one. Like, NBA. Well, maybe.
But the thing is, so even on for Stadia, the subscription service is, I guess it's like um, Xbox Pass or Microsoft Pass or whatever it's called, Live Pass,
Yeah.
where it's still, you get a few games here and there that you can
Mm.
play, but most of the games you still have to buy. And with Google's, it's like, you have to you're paying that pro or that premium fee or whatever, the subscription fee,
Hmm.
to have to basically to rent your games that you have purchased from them, with a
Okay.
few
Yeah.
freebies tossed in. So it's like,
Oh, it's like Steam.
yeah, exactly. So it's great. I paid $10 a month or $13 a month, whatever it ends up being in Canada. Um, then I buy NBA 2K20 or whatever they come out with,
Yep.
and then that subscription, that $10 a month, lets me play it wherever I want, which is pretty nice. Except, hopefully the games are cheaper. Hopefully it's not like I'm going to be paying $80 for a game and then another $10 a month just to play it where I want to. Where generally,
So it's like
probably
the PlayStation or Xbox Live model.
yeah,
You still got to buy an $8 game, but you spend $120 a year in order to play it online.
yeah, but it's like worse almost because you're not even getting the console, the like
Right.
physical copy of the game,
Mhm.
you know? I mean, it goes back to the physical versus digital
Yep. It's
um
debate.
thing that we always have. And yeah, it's just I don't know, it could be good. I'm hoping it will be, but I Google always seems to find a way to just have a great idea and then fuck it up
Yeah, we'll just look at the
because
apps, right?
yeah.
Messaging apps. How many have
Yeah.
we lost?
Like at least 6.
Um,
Hangouts is doing fine until we lose that soon.
Yeah. Same with the mail apps. I miss
Yeah,
Inbox.
me too. Inbox was amazing, and then it just got ruined. Ruined.
Ruined. On to some other conversations here. Did you see Us? Jordan
I did.
Peele's?
Yes.
So I watched that on Friday. I like a good horror movie that I can figure out the twist in the first opening couple minutes.
Exactly. So,
Then I'm like waiting the next 2 hours to go. I wonder if I was right. And then,
yeah,
oh yeah, I was.
I
It made me kind of more indifferent on the movie.
it really reminded me of so when we talked about it, I said, when you see it, let me know because there's an episode of The Simpsons that it reminded me of.
Yeah,
And it was just the Halloween episode where Bart is the evil
with Hugo.
twin.
Yeah,
And I'm like, yep, it's pretty much reminds me of The Simpsons where the the good twin or the evil twin is, they switch spots and stuff like that. Um what I really liked about the movie was that, it left a lot kind of open for interpretation. And then
okay.
I watched a bunch of like, this is what the ending of Us means, and
Yeah, you're
you know,
mentioning about
like
that part.
this theory and that theory, and I was like, oh, that could be cool. That could be cool. And there's just a bunch of different things that that different people were saying, and it was crazy because like when you hear their kind of argument for it or against another theory, um, it all generally seems to make sense. And like to be fair, they're cherry picking lines here and there from the movie and taking, one scene that potentially could be out of context or something like that. But like Jordan Peele's pretty methodical in what he puts in his movies. So like if he put a scene in or if he put a line, here or there, like he probably did it for a reason. But then there's a lot of just messed up questions. Like,
Like
you
the
know,
purpose of the underground with the
yeah,
tethering,
exactly. Like, why is that there? And then
and it's under the entire world where everybody is
yeah,
at
like
all
if the
times.
if the project got canceled, then like were they like, oh, whatever, I guess they'll kill, they'll deal with themselves or whatever.
Well, I'm trying to figure out then at the same time. Then it's like who watches the Watchmen? Well, who created this program? At which point does the leveling off stop? Like who's not tethered? Who's not this?
Yeah.
Like who's running it then?
And also like the end of the movie like seems like a bit of a happy ending where they escape the beach, they're going back home,
Yeah,
whatever. But it's like the other tethereds are still just they're running around.
yeah.
And like
They're hands across America.
yeah, and like they've killed their human counterparts and stuff.
Mm,
So what? Now it's just going to be like a mix of real people and the tethers, because like it didn't seem like they were really trying to kill off people that weren't their own self
right.
unless they had to.
Yeah,
Um,
it's almost like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
yeah. So then it's like, all right. So now, um, my neighbors have been killed by their tethers.
Yeah.
Uh, but they're not attacking me, so like I guess I'm cool with them. So now they're my new neighbors.
Morning,
but
Fred.
yeah.
Lovely
Um,
day.
yeah. But like just so many it like I thought it was a good movie, but there's just so many messed up questions about like how does the world continue to to live?
Yeah, like you said, they're all hands across America through all the fields and stuff, and then there's just helicopters
Yeah,
above them.
just flying
Not
around like, oh yeah, look at all these guys. Oh well. And
we're gonna need
credits.
more red jumpsuits.
I like
And
all
then
that. Like just so much like how did how did she organize all of that? Like
yeah,
and just the timing of everything. And the
so
one theory that I really liked was that the kid was had also gotten switched, but much later in life. So like the boy got switched the year before, or like the summer before. They were at
the
that
last time they're there, yeah,
yeah, so they were at the cottage, and then the summer passed, and at that time there was the old switcheroo again at that point. And it was just things like, last summer he forgot his lighter at the cottage or whatever. And then
yeah,
this summer when he got there, he like couldn't figure out how to use it. But other like his tether was a pyromaniac. And so maybe they just got switched, you know, at some point because there was some sort of accident, and you know, they ended up switching or whatever it was.
yeah,
Um, but then there's a lot of things about rhythm and beat, like when they're snapping along to songs and stuff, the mom and the kid are way off beat, not way off beat, but off beat of the song they're doing.
hmm
And then the dad and the daughter are on beat. um so I was like, that'd be cool. And it's all these things that I like having it kind of be open ended and not
yeah.
all resolved. Not that I want to see a sequel about it, but
Them
but
equal
yeah.
to us.
But yeah, I thought that was good because there's sometimes where things just don't need to have a resolution, and it's nice to have that level of interpretation.
So were they eating rabbits like that? All they ate down there,
I
or
guess, but it's like what, how did they get more rabbits? I mean,
yeah,
the rabbits, you know,
like
but
rabbits.
like rabbits.
Yeah.
So I guess they could have just constantly reproduced more rabbits.
So one would assume then this goes back to like to Thanos. Like if you have 6 billion people and then you have 6 billion tethered, like we're just wasting natural resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
Well, just rabbits at least. No, I mean, rabbits and jumpsuits are pretty much all we're.
and then like again, you said like the program is canceled, yet the underground is very well kept.
Yeah,
Things are all
absolutely. Yeah,
clean.
it's
Nice
clean.
shiny gold escalator.
Yeah, like it's just. Uh, I think I'm gonna have to revisit that movie, but
Well, then just too like when they're showing the part where it's like the carnival underneath the actual carnival, it's like they don't have like the whole point of it is like what you do up there is replicated down below. But at the same time, like when they're playing the carnival games and winning prizes, they're handing the prizes over too, rather than
yeah,
just miming it. Like they mime everything else.
yeah,
But no, here's your Thriller T-shirt, which we also have down here in the correct size.
yeah, exactly. Uh, but have you? I think this is like the third or fourth time we've talked about this, but have you watched the Twilight Zone yet? The new one, Jordan Peele's?
I watched
You said maybe the first couple episodes or something.
yeah, I think up to the one with
So I haven't
8
seen
or
any of them
9.
yet.
I
Sorry.
haven't watched all my after like the 8th one, I just kind of lost interest because they were on a steady decline.
Oh, okay.
At least in my
Yeah.
opinion. So the first few piqued my interest, and then it kind of. So I haven't watched the rest. I'll just wait till the season's done. I think it might be done now,
Yeah,
and revisit the ones that I didn't watch. But I got
it's
nothing
got
else to watch.
it's got to be only like 12 episodes, right? There's 12 or 13.
Yeah.
There's no way they're gonna do like a 22 episode
No.
run or anything.
Yeah. Plus, it's on what CBS's streaming platform, and most of those things are are treated like cable.
Yeah.
So there's maybe 13 episodes at the most. Yeah, it's definitely not as good as like the Rod
The
Sterling
original
or yeah.
Zone. T
That's
Zone.
right. here and here. It's not as oily, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
that's right.
Oh yeah, just to go back to a previous story in relation to video game talking. Did you see the list of all games coming out on that that Sega Genesis Mini?
No, I saw that the list had come out. I didn't take a look at it.
So there are some new ones that were just announced. It will have Tetris.
Of course, yes.
All right.
So,
the rest are the same.
so Tetris,
Well, it's also got
Sonic,
Virtua Street Fighter 2,
Comic Zone.
but no Mutant Hockey League.
Yep.
But
It's
the rest.
The damn shame.
Wasn't gonna get it. Now definitely
Yeah.
still probably not gonna get it.
Yeah.
And then Nintendo looks like no other mini consoles are coming.
No,
no N64, GameCube,
no
Game Boy.
But someone made an N64, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up.
Classic kind of.
That thing looks amazing.
I agree. Like Nintendo, make it, sell it,
or give this person the funds to continue doing it themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks just what you wanted, and has just what you want on it.
Exactly. I like everything. It's the perfect system, the perfect classic system,
perfecter system.
I think it would be. I think the N64 hit would be as big of a hit, if not bigger, than the original Nintendo Classic. Not
Do
as
you
much.
Think the reasoning is less to do with the Switch and their online market trying to rebuild the virtual console versus what I think it's licensing? Because probably many of the games that we all played on the N64 may not have entirely been Nintendo owned, like
Cruis'n USA.
Yeah,
and
you have to get MGM and was it? Wasn't.
It was the one that was kind of like NBA Jam, but you could be like an alien and shit.
I was pretty sure it's Hang Time.
Yes. No. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that Cruis'n USA. What else did I play on the 64? Like Mario Kart. All those ones are obviously Nintendo's, but yeah, like it could be a licensing thing. It could also just be the thing that kind of, we ragged on the PlayStation Classic for, was like, maybe we don't need that in between level of graphics. Like the NES and SNES Classic kind of brought us back to the 8 and 16-bit nostalgia that we love.
Yeah.
And then by the time we got to the PlayStation 1s and 2s and 64s and cubes, it was like, all right, this is what like graphics are on their way towards.
Yeah.
And then we got PlayStation 3s and 4s and Switches and Xboxes, and we're like, oh, this is what the gaming scene is now. But it's kind of in that middle stage where it's not quite nostalgia, and the graphics are they're not great, and so it's just a lot of not good stuff, like middle of the pack stuff, instead of the NES and SNES, where obviously the games were whatever, but the nostalgia factor was really high.
Yeah. It's pixels, but in 3D form.
Yeah. 3D pixels.
3D pixels. Yeah, I don't know. It's disappointing because, well, it's disappointing only in our own respects because we just assumed it was going to happen.
Yeah, I think after the success of the NES Classic and then somewhat milder success of the SNES Classic, we just assumed like they're obviously going to keep going.
They'd be stupid not to.
Exactly. They would be stupid not to. But you know what? They probably know better than us once for certain things.
Well,
sometimes I'm sure that there's a few things they know better than us.
They hung on to Mario rather than licensing them out to other consoles, so that was smart.
Yeah. Finally. They really took their sweet BlackBerry time with that.
Still waiting on Kart.
Yeah. Apparently
Mario
it
Kart
is
Touring on iPhone and Android.
apparently it is like a microtransaction mess. Like
Oh God!
it's all just going to be
Have they learned nothing about what EA's been doing?
yeah. No, they haven't. It's
No.
apparently it's just a big fat mess of if you want to win, you got to pay.
I
And if you
also
want to just
read.
have fun, then you can play for free. But
Oh, fuck that.
no way, I want to win.
I read that they said with the beta that's been going on in Japan that it's not even really a real true multiplayer. It's
I
when you're
haven't.
racing against other folks. Now, you played Super Mario Run, right?
Yeah.
You did the rally.
Yeah.
They said that's what basically the multiplayer is you're not actually
Okay.
playing
It's
someone.
like
You're
like racing the ghost.
ghost based on like if you were playing against me, it's how I did the last time I did that track.
Yeah.
So if
Not
I
not like a
went around once,
one-on-one.
hit it, yeah, exactly. Go on the track, hit the wall one time. That was the last time I did it. Then you're racing against that.
Yeah.
So,
Which is like it's fine because at least that way you're not having to deal with any sort of um lag or connection issues or something like that.
but
But if you're like playing your friend, if you're playing someone that you know, you want to be racing in real time with them.
so in other words, grab your Switch, pop in the cartridge.
Play the real
There you
game.
go. Play the real deal. The real thing. Capital R, capital T.
Yeah, that's right. Those are the real letters. Are those the right letters?
Oh God. Now, have to mention this just because we've been shitting on other things. Dark Phoenix opened on Friday. Now, we were going to do a bit of a deep dive last week, but we can just skim our thoughts here. Now, as we know, this indie production company known as Walt Disney Pictures owns now 20th Century Fox, the company behind this piece of shit. So going in, like we said before, I had no interest because it didn't look good, and then also it just didn't look good.
Yeah, like there's
no, but
no way there's just no way that
this, yeah, it's ending, and we know it's going to come back. So do I really? And plus, this movie was essentially a remake of a movie they did in 2006,
which also was not good.
But if we go by a Rotten Tomatoes score, it was actually reviewed a lot better than this one.
Well, yeah, every movie was reviewed better than this one.
So, X-Men Dark Phoenix, say it was so bad they didn't even put X-Men in the title.
They threw the X logo in the O just to be
which they even have to do because Phoenix ends in an X.
Exactly.
Anyhow, so the story tells the tale of Jean Grey, who we all know from the first trilogy of movies, but then we're just really learned about in the last movie. So why not make her prominent and have us care about, again, an actress that we know from something else, but don't really know her from this movie because she had a very small role in Apocalypse. But again, here in the forefront, where do you remember Apocalypse? Last movie?
I was watching a I think it was a Cram It.
Yeah.
About, like watch this before you see Dark Phoenix or whatever. And I remembered all the other movies, and then Apocalypse came, and I was like, honestly, I'm not even sure if I've seen it. To be I don't know. I'm sure that I have. I can't remember any part of it.
Yeah.
And normally this is where I would say, oh, I'll revisit that sometime. No, like I'm not gonna do that. It's
I don't remember it well. Two things I remember most is thinking, my God, Jennifer Lawrence clearly does not want to be here.
Yeah.
Just based on her wooden performance. And the second, I'm pretty sure they did the exact same thing that they did at the end of the second X-Men United, with Jean, where she has to stop something, and then this just force comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, she already has the powers. But then this movie is saying that she doesn't, but then obtains it. So the fuck?
Yeah. So what? But I mean,
So,
they've
anyhow,
been retconning for 4 movies now. So
the only
why
thing I've
not?
the only part that made me laugh about this movie, and I haven't seen it, was a tweet. I think I maybe flipped it over to you. Was that Eric Lencher Magneto was born in 1932.
Oh yeah.
This movie takes place in 1992, and he looks the same as he did 30 years ago when he was played by Michael Fassbender in X-Men First Class.
And then
So he's a great 62-year-old. But like these movies are
the timeline is so all over
up
the
its own
place.
ass.
Yeah, up its ass. Which, like, okay, they messed with a bunch of timelines, as you know, starting from Days of Future Past and stuff like. Oh no, wait, which was first? First Class?
Here's
Or
my understanding. So we had the first movies. So the first X-Men came out in 2000. All right. That one, it was okay.
Yeah, that one was fine.
Like this one's, kind of building off of the X-Men cartoon, which was fantastic in its prime. Which, side note, I read the writers for that show have actually gone to Disney to pitch bringing it back, like as a continuation of that cartoon.
Will they just bring back the the back catalog though? Because even that would be a
do
win.
both.
Like yeah,
just do both.
That would be a huge win.
Because they can do the same thing that they did with was it the Clone Wars cartoon?
I don't know.
On Netflix, they had
the
catalog,
right.
And then they just brought back a new season. So why not just when Disney takes it over, air those? I think 5, 6 seasons,
4.
And then here's a new one in 2020 or 2021.
That would be incredible. Same animation, same comedic timing,
same 90s look and music.
Same, as long as they have the same intro.
Yeah, and don't even update the graphics to be 1080p. Yeah, so we're watching the nice black bars on the side.
Like when you're playing the NES Classic, but you can play it on the old CRT mode. It's got the screen flickering and everything. You're like, yes, this is how I want to play.
So we have the original came out in 2000, and then 2002 was X-Men United, and then X-Men Last Stand was 2006, and that one, again, we had the Dark Phoenix quasi half-handed story. And then when they did First Class, they introduced, as the sequel was Days of Future Past, which through the course of that movie retconned Last Stand out of existence.
Yeah.
So in this respect, it kind of makes sense that they're doing the same story again because it didn't happen in their quote unquote future.
Yeah.
The not too distant future, as I think it says in the or distant future. It says at the beginning of the movies because they don't give you an actual year.
Yeah, because they're like, just in case we want to decide that it's not in 2014.
But let's not mention that they designed Magneto's helmet later on, but in X-Men First Class, it just shows up. Anyhow, so this one, is basically taking place of the one from 2006. Now, all understanding is it's just all around bad.
Just bad story, bad acting, bad everything.
Yeah.
It's because I think what I read was the opening night or opening Friday it got like 12 million, something like that.
Yeah, it finished the weekend with $33 million estimate. It could go down. It might go up. And it is by far the worst opening of an X-Men movie. Fell well below expectations that everyone thought. It said maybe 50 plus.
Yeah.
So based on this opening, they're saying that it was about just a bit over half of what X-Men Apocalypse did 3 years ago. And based on typical X-Men numbers, which has got a 2.5 multiplier over its run, it might, if it continues that way, gross in domestic about $80 million total. We're the first one not to cross $100 million.
And let's see. Hold on. Let me just see.
It also has the worst cinema score of all of them, a B-, which to some people is that. Like, you think a B is, hey, that's not bad, but apparently in the cinema score world, a B is like, we're not even gonna go tell people to see it.
Yeah. What was the budget for the movie? Do you know?
It was about 200 million because they did a whole bunch of reshoots. Not to mention words getting out that throughout the entire movie they were rewriting the script on set.
Looks like it did okay
internationally.
Worldwide, yeah. Got 107 million worldwide. So 140
That's a plus
overall. Like, you know, it's bad when what is it? What's the movie you saw? The Pets one? Secret Life of Pets 2.
Yeah, and I didn't see the first one, so I didn't know these pets had secret lives.
Yeah. But Secret Life of Pets on Friday and Saturday beat the entire weekend for Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, it's
yikes.
It's a little embarrassing.
That's
now the Secret Life of Pets. Now, again, never saw the first one, so I don't know how the first one goes.
Yeah, so you were lost.
Sure. It's a cartoon movie. I don't think you really need to see. But my thing about it is, and Ashley had the same thing, is it was less a movie, but more of like a sitcom. Because there was like
an advertisement to buy
there was like 3 distinct plot points in it, so you're constantly jumping back and forth. So like each story was probably, because an hour and a half movie was probably like the equivalent of an episode.
Okay.
Of a sitcom, so like 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. So and this is because I know it's just his voice, but the first Kevin Hart movie I saw.
Going back to 3
episodes. There you go.
I don't think I've seen.
He's the rabbit.
I don't think I've seen any of his movies.
Yeah, we established that in our Kevin Hart episode.
Yeah.
But I would, I'd definitely see. I'd watch the Secret Life of Pets.
The first one
before watching Dark Phoenix.
Before, yeah. No, not on purpose, but definitely before Dark Phoenix.
There was a poll. It was like, Dark Phoenix, will you like go see it, ignore it, catch it on home release, or download it, or none of the above? And like, not seeing it and home video were like close. Like people weren't even going like, yeah, I'll download it.
Yeah,
like, that wasn't even like, no, I'm not gonna waste my waste the chance of getting arrested with downloading that.
Yeah, they're probably like, you're downloading Dark Phoenix. There must be something wrong with you. We're gonna have to take you in.
There's a shelter you can go to.
Yeah. I do want to see this movie Brightburn. I haven't heard any good or bad about it. It's probably not great, but I like.
It's a superhero / horror movie.
Yeah, I like the idea of.
It's like Problem Child, but with superpowers.
Clark Kent.
Yeah. Although we did see Man of Steel, I'm surprised Clark Kent didn't turn out like that.
Yeah.
You got these powers, but you probably should let people die because we don't want people to know you got these powers here, Clark. Okay, Dad.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And then I'll take down half the city.
Did you see the articles growing up with Matthew Vaughn, what his pitch to Warner Brothers was for a Superman like trilogy of movies?
No.
He wanted the first movie, and I shit you not, with Clark, or in this case Kal-El, spending time on Krypton at the end of the movie is when it would blow up. Which, as we know, is not Superman's lore. Okay. It's not his history. So it's like he's growing up on Krypton with his dad,
and then
doing whatever. And then like, oh yeah, now you gotta go.
Like when he's like a teenager, or
I guess I don't know. Didn't get into specific ages. But like that's not how it works.
Yeah, like we know the story of Superman.
Yeah, we
Well,
do.
it's not. That's so
Or
weird.
it should be, you thought you know the story of Superman.
Yeah.
This
Oh
leads me
man.
to this other article, which I saw come up, where this guy was, it says, entitled "In Praise of Tim Burton's Batman and Ignoring Source Material." Now, I am one to get a little irked when you have like the books, this material, the lore, like and you don't treat it as scripture. That being said, I have kind of put that aside in some respects to see what these, just to give the art itself a chance to breathe.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me as much, but I guess is that where we go now? Is just make movies and
Do whatever you want with them.
do whatever you want? Because Zack Snyder said his Batman kills, so fuck y'all.
Yeah. But it's.
Then
I mean,
again, his Batman movies did bad, and now they're redoing them.
yeah. There's also the point to be made that it's just we're just remaking the movies, like the same movies over and over and over. So then at that point, it's like, all right, I'm not going to do the same movie that someone else did. I'm going to put my own spin on it. I'm going to put my own, um, story attached to the superhero or whatever. But it's like, the other option is to just stop making Batman movies, stop making Superman movies, um, just stop making Aquaman movies in general. But, like,
Well, I need to do this. I need to do this.
okay. Um, but
Worth it.
like, the thing that I was excited about with like Marvel movies, like still less so now, but phase in the middle of phase 2 and 3 was I was getting a lot of movies that hadn't been done before. So like Guardians and stuff like that, where I didn't know the story beforehand. And
Mhm.
so they could, whether they kept it true to life or true to the comics or not true to the comics, I wouldn't know the difference. Um, and like, you know what? Marvel has been able to be pretty successful with all these characters that haven't had their own movies before. Um, and like instead of making 17 Wolverine movies, maybe focus on another X-Men. I get that it's the bread and butter and everyone knows who Wolverine is, everyone knows who Batman is, Superman, like all those guys, everyone knows it, so it's you get to tell that story and that's cool versus trying to tell someone about Adam Warlock where people are going to be like, I don't know who that is.
Huh?
So I'm not going to go see it. But at least like take that risk because that way you get to show like you get to put a movie on that hasn't been done before. Whether the whether the like whether it's a cookie cutter plot, which it likely
It
will
will
be,
like it will be with Marvel for sure,
but it's
but it's
still
a
like
formula that works.
exactly it works, but it's also just like okay, fine, it's the same sort of plot, but it's still different enough that it's not like I'm just watching Bruce's parents die again when he's a kid. Like
Mm.
I've seen it 4 times. It's not something that you need to rehash. And so maybe there's a version of the Superman story where he's not a baby when he lands on Earth, you know? But it's also like just stop making Superman movies. Get another superhero and then make a movie from there.
You see the supposed rumored Phase 4 slate that got leaked?
I didn't.
I saw this, and the first thing I thought was whether this is true or not, it could very well be fake. Everything listed here is where you would just assume they would do anyway. So if I said, I'll read you this list,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you're gonna say, well, yeah, that's
No,
likely
that
what.
seems yeah.
And two, we know because they're already filming. Black Widow,
Yep.
The Eternals,
Yep.
Shang-Chi,
Okay.
which is we're supposed to be filming in Australia at the moment.
Guardians 3.
Black Panther 2,
Yep.
Doctor Strange 2,
Yep.
Guardians 3,
Okay.
Thor 4,
No. Why though?
Ant-Man 3, Captain
Okay.
Marvel 2,
Yep.
Nova,
Okay, that would be interesting.
New Avengers.
Nova, like that late though? Is this the order of?
No, this is
Oh, this is just a
this is just
list.
written here. Yeah.
Okay, 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 that's fine.
New Avengers, Young Avengers, Dark Avengers.
Yeah, it covers all the bases.
There's also Old Avengers, In Between Avengers.
Also, the Cold Avengers.
Of all these, I'm surprised they didn't put West Coast Avengers because that was another comic too.
But yeah, like
Like the word "duh" comes to mind.
Yeah, Dadoy. Don't hear that a lot these days.
No, you don't.
No, and like I guess that's a pretty safe slate.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
not breaking anything down there.
But like even though it's a safe slate, like Guardians of the Galaxy will still be, I guess we know the characters now. We still don't know like storylines, and I
think
guess
if
this one will
you
be...
have Thor in it and have it like as Guardians of the Galaxy, like the throwaway line at the end, you probably won't be a Thor 4. That's fine.
Well, that I also, what would they do with Thor 4? Like it's not like he has Loki to kind of chase after and do all that stuff with. I think all the Thor movies were made because of Loki being there.
Yeah, unless the Loki series is post Endgame.
I heard the Loki series was like in the before times. I mean, I guess it
Endgame change it maybe.
Yeah,
like before times, but also now times.
Like in between times.
That's right.
But like things like Young Avengers, Dark Avengers, all that kind of stuff. Like it's different enough that it's not the same. Like obviously it will be the same.
Yeah,
like talked about, but it will be superheroes or kids of superheroes that we don't know their real kind of origin story. Not that I want more origin stories, but like we don't know their powers and all that kind of stuff the same way that we know Superman's start to finish or start to 30s.
I think Kevin Smith, one of his old stand-ups or his old Q&As, really summed up like the explaining of Superman's origin in 3 words: Krypton, planet, boom.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. Where's he from? Krypton. What's that? It's a planet. What happened to it? Boom. Done.
Done.
I'll cash my check now.
Cash will be fine.
And in other dumb fan petitions.
Oh, yes. Here we go.
Not that Danny DeVito for Wolverine was a dumb petition.
No.
Marvel fans launch petition demanding Tony Stark be unkilled.
Ugh. My God. People.
He deserved a happy ending. Not that one. A different one.
He
one with his kid. So that's what they want.
Well.
So, Mr. Trump, if you're listening.
Yeah. This thing has at least 3,000. What's it at, actually?
I just closed it. I'll get it.
We'll
Talk amongst yourselves. It had music when I opened the link, and then like, I don't want to listen to this. Who puts background music on the website still?
Oh my God.
16,000 signatures as of the writing of that article, and I found that on Tuesday. So I'll
choose
change.org. Hashtag save Tony Stark. Hashtag Tony Stark. 56,200. Oh, it's still going up. 56,301 as of right this second. Their target is to get 75,000.
Wow. Why? Like, what is that even going to solve? Like, nothing.
So this Melanie Lewisau needs your help with Bring Tony Stark Back to Life. Join the 56,300 people today. I will do no such thing.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Oh, wow. That's, you know what? For fun, let's just read why she wants him back.
All right. Here we go.
MCU's Tony deserves to come back to life. come back fully alive. Tony Stark was always ready to risk his life, suffer, and sacrifice himself for anyone without
Not
ever
always,
receiving.
but okay.
Hold my beer. Since the beginning, since he was a kid, he can never be happy. And when he finally got what he always wanted and deserved, his wife, his daughter, his family, he died. He didn't deserve this, and it's not fair. After everything he's been through and done for everyone, he deserved to live and see his daughter grow up. He has helped so many people in the MCU and in our world. There you go. This is where that's reality is blending in with this make-believe. Yeah. He has helped people to live, including me, to overcome their problems, to accept themselves, to face life. He's also so important. He's so important.
Oh, so important.
He saved our lives, and it's our turn to save him. We love him so much. We love him 3,000. Oh, I get it.
I get it.
Without him, now we are totally lost. For many people, he was the reason to live and hold on in life. Hashtag Tony Stark. Hashtag Avenge Tony Stark. Hashtag Save Tony Stark. Hashtag Bring Tony back. Hashtag Bring Tony Stark back.
No.
All I can say is Robert Downey Jr. is still alive. He was playing a fictional character.
Yeah,
that was based on him, and he's still alive. And from what we can tell, he's still in his real life very much a Tony Stark with his new initiative.
Nanobots cleaning the ocean. That's huge.
So
where's the change.org on that one?
So you can just put this petition aside and remember that he's still alive. And it's make believe.
Yeah, maybe just shut up about it.
Hey, shut up a minute.
Yeah, come here a minute. Man, just why?
Why not? I guess internet is.
I guess, but
internet's a finicky being. You can do so much on the interweb, such as
whatever you want.
Bitch about fictitious characters dying. And demand filmmakers bring them back, and we all know they will at some point. It may not be Robert Downey Jr., but they will reboot Iron Man at some point.
Yeah, that's true. Just not, as long as it's not Robert Downey Jr. Maybe
who knows? He may live on in like an AI form in the rest of the movies.
Yeah, because isn't that one of the theories that Spider-Man suit is going to have?
Not that Friday, was a theory until you saw one of the latest trailers.
Oh yeah, I guess
that answers that question for you.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a woman's voice.
He can be a woman.
He didn't really die.
It's like like X-Men, the third X-Men. What's his name? Professor X didn't actually die.
He just transferred his consciousness to Patrick Stewart, apparently, because
somehow
just like him from a distance.
Yeah,
that also never did get explained. Did it at the end when that credit scene in the Wolverine?
They did it, and then they're just like, "Yep, we did it. That's it."
He rolls up, no pun intended, on Logan in the airport, and he's just like, "Charles, no time. We need your help." Oh yeah, fuck! So many missed opportunities with those movies. They set up Mr. Sinister, didn't use him. Brought in the Sentinels, butchered those.
Everything was the worst.
Even when it was good, it was the worst.
Even when it was the Bears.
Even when it was the Bears. All right. Hey, how does a penguin build its house? It glues it together.
Yes, I forgot about this one.
All right, that's Open Collar for this week. Follow the show socially at facebook.com/OpenCollarPodcast, Twitter and Instagram at OpenCollarPod. Stream us on YouTube, youtube.com/GoVNC. Don't forget to email us your questions, comments, topics for discussion. If you want to be on the show as a guest, let us know. And don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts from us. So this is Corey for Michelle, reminding you all to keep it casual.